Special thanks to Hilda Wathithi and Kalamival for holding it down for me until this time. Right about now, it's time for Strength of a Woman. I go by the name of Barry Moses, or It's Barry Mo on every social media platform, and my guest of the day has a lot in a resume. I can go on and on reading them, but I'll just give you a sneak peek. Before that, 22162 is our SMS line. Start with YM254. Don't forget to leave your name and where you're watching us from, or preferably you can hit us up on Twitter. That is at Y254 channel. Your views, your comments, your questions are invited. On to my guest now. She is an entrepreneur with interest in building and construction, real estate, financial technology. This is interesting. Hospitality, public speaking, training and consultancy in business networking, and she's currently the CEO and director of Sama Enterprises Limited. She goes by the name of Sarah Karingi, and she's our Strength of a Woman guest of the day. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Moses.
Nobody ever calls me Moses, but I like it. Why did you pick Moses off my two names?
Yeah,
Barry and Moses.
Oh, thank you.
You're religious, I guess.
It's because I love the story of Moses, and I find him to be a man who, though he never really believed himself, was a very strong person. For him to take a risk and take the Israelites all the way from Egypt through the desert, through the Red Sea, and then to the desert. To
the promised land.
Yet he used to look at himself like someone who is so weak. Someone who is a stammerer, someone who doesn't have anything, like most of us always think. But
people look down upon him.
Yes.
He was strong in oblivion.
Yes.
Thank you very much for the words of encouragement. That is the best thing I've had this week.
Oh, thank you.
My name is powerful. All right. Anyway, on to the matter now. I always tell my guests to introduce themselves, to tell a brief bio of themselves, but I think yours, I exhausted almost everything.
Yes, indeed.
I'm very much interested in your background in education first, before we can get to talk about your book and the training that you offer, and a few tips you can give the queens out there. So your background in education first.
Yeah, of course, I went to school many years ago. From 1968, of course, I went to primary school, and then I had some challenges as I was in school. I used to, of course, be number last in class.
Okay.
And those days, of course...
This is why the story of Moses intrigues you or inspires you so much.
I used to be number 2 from last,
All right.
Number 2 from last, so you can imagine. And
people had a lot to say about you.
Yeah, a lot. And those days, like... the way parents used to love their children. They always used to be there. But you realize, okay, my mom is semi-illiterate. But she also had somehow she was able to teach us how to do, say, like maths. And I had very many challenges in maths. And the only way for parents to make children know how to learn was to beat them. So I used to be beaten so badly. And that made me actually become very poor in my areas of study. By progress, and then my
it made you build a negative attitude towards it.
Yeah, it's like I felt that, of course, I was rejected. I felt that nobody used to understand me. And I used to have a lot of fear, so I couldn't understand. So my mind would just block. And I wouldn't get anything that my mom would teach me. But, and that's something I've shared in the book. But she did this out of love. But then one time, a cousin of mine came along and saw what was happening at home. And then he told me that, Sarah, you know what? You are not what people think of you, because even I used to live with cousins who used to really discourage me. But along the way, now my cousin encouraged me so much and taught me how to do it. So by the time I was in class 4, I moved from second from last position to number 9 from number 1. Yeah, and that gave me a lot of motivation. Then afterwards, my dad took me to a boarding school where the nuns.
This is at class 4.
You know, I went to class 5 the following year, and when I went there, the nuns were very kind to me, and I realized that I became very encouraged, and I started becoming very good in class, and then from there, of course, I went to secondary school, and my secondary school was a school that was mixed, boys and girls. Again,
before we go to secondary school, so you admit that how the seniors relate to the child determines so much the attitude towards education. How maybe your teachers interact with you or your parents determines your attitude. If you're beaten, it does not necessarily mean you're going to improve in your studies.
Yes. Actually, what there is that one thing parents should do, and teachers, is to show children love. The moment you show someone that you love and you care and you are sincere, those people or the children will change their attitude. At times they don't become number last because they are stupid or foolish, but it's because of the way they have been nurtured. So the fact that, okay, like my sister was better than me in maths. My mom didn't understand all those days. It's like, since I was the eldest child and my sister was number 2, there's no way she could have beaten me in maths. So my mom couldn't understand. But it's only because out of ignorance. But if parents show children the way and show them that, you know, they care and they love them, you see a very positive change.
And beating them is not always the way.
No. Actually, beating someone is dehumanizing them. It is also making them feel rejected. It is making them feel that I think I'm worthless. And so instead of improving that person, you make them, of course, to deteriorate in their area of study.
All right.
As even generally in life.
Wise words there.
Yeah.
All right, on to your secondary education, right? You go to a mixed school.
Yeah, so from my primary school, that is the boarding school, I went to Kangaroo High School. And still that time, girls were not many girls used to, schools used to have mixed boys and girls. And I decided to choose the school because I felt that I wanted to compete with the boys because I was feeling that at this level, I think I can become better. And so I felt that I needed to compete with them. And sure enough, when I went to Kangaroo High School, I used to be number 2, number 1, number 3, or number 3, 2, 1. All the way up to Form 6. That time we used to have, we go all the way to Form 6. Then after that, we went to the university. And when I went to the university, I had taken, I was to study law. And my first semester, I went to study law. Then afterwards, I realized this was not my area of calling. And I decided to move now to the BCom class. And that is what I studied.
This is at the University of Nairobi?
Yes. Yes.
So from being number last in lower primary school, when you didn't even know what you wanted with your life back then, to going to one of the most prestigious universities in the country and in the continent back then.
Yes.
You went to law school and then you found your passion in business.
Yes.
Fast forward now, you're offering training and consultancy in networking.
Yes.
Tell me about this.
Yes, first I would like to say that I found myself training as a networker because first of all, let me take you back and say that I'm an entrepreneur and I have an interest in construction and processing of timber products, and this is a business which my late husband started. And when he passed on, I had very many challenges, but I had to work really hard to prove myself that I could do it despite the challenges. And then at some point, my business was set on fire. So you can imagine I was starting afresh.
Your business was
yes, by a nationalist. Yes, by a nationalist, and I lost a lot.
It was intentional.
Yes, it was intentional. It was on a Sunday. Investigations were done, and of course, I called experts, and they were able to tell me that it was not because of electrical failure. Because of course, with electrical failures, you could see, of course, the cables could have burnt, but they were intact. So I came to find later that, of course, it was arson. But I had to really work hard. And of course, to get the company back on its feet was not easy because I was paying a loan, and the banks were running after me. I was taking care of children, my children, the children of my relatives, and there were so many other things that were happening because, of course, I was still mourning. But I decided that I was going to work very hard and get my business back on its feet.
So challenges also come with doing business.
Yeah, and a lot of them, a lot of them. And at times you can easily give up. So I looked at the people who I was taking care of. So besides my employees who are looking up to me, and they are not sure whether I would actually make it, I would pray and tell God, this is what I want. And I say that I have so many people behind me. I have to work for them. And I really thank God because people are the ones there, those who discourage me. But one friend is on invited me to a networking organization called Business Network International, where people, members there, exchange business professionally. They just market business one another, no commission. But when I went, I stayed there for 1 year, no business. Why? Because people needed to, the members needed to know me. They needed to trust me, of course, and of course they had to like me. Because of course business is given to those people who of course are trusted. So of course, and you see, trust takes time. And I used to wonder, how come that these people are not giving me business? Yet I'm giving them more than 3 million shillings in a year. Of course, giving them my referrals, giving them business from my pocket. And I realized that I had to be patient. If you want to be successful in business, you have to be ready to lose. You have to be ready to succeed. But it all depends with your attitude. So I had to work on my attitude. I had to be very patient. And I realized that after the second year, I received very little business, still learning to understand this atmosphere, the environment, and the people. But finally, that is now how I became. And then I started now topping, because of course we are normally ranked according to our performance. In Business Network International, I have been at the top almost all the time, both in Kenya and East Africa. And but my happiness is that I have given a lot of mentorship to young people still in my chapter as well, BNI, which is Mabuno chapter. I've also given business to people who are not only in BNI but even outside, and I have learned a lot. So now for me to become a trainer and a consultant, I realized that there are these young people who are really struggling in business. They need a mentor. They need someone to work with them. And at times they just close now. Why? Because probably they feel the way I was feeling when I was a young girl. And that's why I said, if I can come in and support them, help them, and show them how to get referrals, and of course continue learning and get more business, then of course that was the right thing for me to do. And that is when I registered my company called Global Networks Investment. And the sole purpose of that company is to train people on business networking. And I can tell you I have done so much. I have done so well. And after that, of course, I joined the University of Strathmore to, of course, upscale myself and improve my entrepreneurial skills. And from there then, of course, because I give them a lot of referrals for people who have to go and connect with them, and of course become proper and professional entrepreneurs, they decided to help me get a certain award. Yes, and that award is a Abtei Award, which is given to women and youth who have done a distinguished job in their area of operation.
All right.
Yes.
So you're an award-winning networking trainer.
Yes.
And as a networking trainer, networking is very important in business.
Yes.
You made me understand.
Yeah.
And I've always known, by the way, that networking is very important. Some people even go to the extent of saying your network is your network.
Yes.
What are some of the tips you can give the viewers right now, or even the people in the studio with us? Because I'm pretty sure everybody wants to get into business.
Yes.
As much as some of them are employed, everybody's dream is to get into business, because that's the only way you can make that extra money or be rich. So what are some of the tips you can give them for being a good networker? Okay,
thank you very much, Moses. Actually, business networking is more about building lasting relationships that are mutually beneficial. And networking is about giving more than receiving. That if I focus more on the person that I meet, what is their need? And that's why I say that for you to be a very proficient and good professional networker, you have to be a very good listener and a very good learner. You see, once you listen, once I listen to you, and probably you're telling me that, Sarah, I have a problem in my business, I want to close down, and then my work will be to ask you, why do you want to close down? Now you see that we are also building that relationship, because I'm showing interest in you, and I'm really concerned, because you see, in most cases people always focus on, what can you give me? Whereas it should be, what can I give you?
What can I give?
So now when I pay more attention to you and see how I can hold your hand and work with you, if you are down, I lift you, then that is networking. Then the other thing that we need to know about networking is that the art of patience. There are times when people are told, okay, I want to connect you to somebody. And we're like, when will it happen? Now it is up to you now to wait for Sarah to connect, to talk to the other person. Then afterwards they will be able to connect you. Now
just play your part.
Yes, because you see, like what will happen is, if you decide now maybe to see that person, probably we have told you that I'm connecting to somebody else. That person has not relationship with you, but because that party is my personal friend, I'll just pick my call and tell him, Moses is here, he's my friend, and this is what he does, and I would like you to help him. You know what will happen? If you go to see him and tell him that Sarah has referred me to you, he'll be ready to listen to you, because already he knows me, he trusts me, he likes me. So it becomes very easy for you now to do business. So you can imagine if all that happened to every other person, that there's someone that you know can help somebody somewhere. And then anytime you find out an opportunity, it will be your work now to connect that person that you know can work with that person. So you can imagine how much business or how much relationship to be built from that. Another thing about business networking, of course, is becoming good learners. And when I learned that, because I've read a lot on business networking, and I saw that you need to learn, that is when I decided, let me go to Strathmore University to learn more about business, to learn more how I should run my business the professional way. And I've seen a lot of fruits, because you see, I also learned that, of course, I don't have to be at my business place all the time. I have to empower my employees. As a business networker, you have to empower other people. You have to build, of course, a level of trust. Train them to run the business in your absence. And that is why I go to my business like maybe once a month, because they run the business.
Once a month?
Yes.
That is a lot of trust. Huh?
Yes. And then what do I do out here? I'm out helping people to grow their businesses. I'm out here to mentor them. And I can tell you, almost every now and then, people are calling me, Sarah, I would like to give you business. Why? Because they know I care. And because of that, since they understand my business, because the moment I show you I care, and I listen, and I've shown I want to help you, what normally happens, you also want to learn more about me. And what will happen is that anytime you realize there is something that you can connect me with, you call me and tell me. So most of the time, people are always calling me, Sarah, there is this business for you. In one of my businesses, we supply construction materials, the river sand and ballast, and we manufacture wooden products. And every other time, I can tell you, like in a month, I will receive like 4, 5, 6 calls, and I get business. So networking is actually good, because the moment you become so good at it, business will just be flowing. Information will be just flowing, and sharing experiences. But what usually happens, I don't know why, but we as Africans, we just want everything to ourselves, not knowing that once I fold my hand like this, I cannot receive. But the moment I spread my hand to give to somebody whatever is here, then of course I leave it open for
That's a very good
come.
Analogy, a very good way to look at it.
Yeah, and this is something that I am speaking with an authority, because I'm an authority in networking. There's no way I could have received many awards through networking if I am not one. And people know that if they want any connection, they call Sarah. But even if you call me and I don't know you, Moses, I will not just connect you, because I have to take time to understand you. I'll go to the internet and check, who is this Moses? So you have to be very careful. What do you post in the internet? And how do we use, say, like, what do we post online? Say, like, you go to Facebook. What is there on Facebook? When I see you have posted funny things on Facebook, I'm sorry, I cannot connect you, because I'm like, I don't want my name to be associated with someone who is so, because of course.
Because once you connect somebody else, they come bearing your name with them.
Yes. And of course, what usually happens, people will go to Twitter, they go to LinkedIn, they go to Facebook, and they want to see.
That is how you get to know somebody nowadays.
Yes, that's
all right.
the beginning.
We are running out of time, Sarah. So I get that you have to, networking, you have to give more.
Yes.
Than you expect back.
Yes.
That's a very good way of creating relationships.
Yes.
And another thing is learning.
Yes.
There's
And
this
listening.
aspect of communication.
Yes.
Because people don't know how to manage this. Should I tell this person good morning every single day, or should I be all up in their space? Should I be checking up on them? Communication comes with networking, and how should you handle this aspect?
Yeah, actually, you cannot rule out. Actually, communication is part of networking. So how do we communicate? You see, even the body language. For example, the way I'm looking at you, I'm communicating with you because I can see you have smiley eyes. So that already makes me feel. So that makes me feel that I want to connect more with Moses. How about if you are only on your phone? I'm talking to you, or you are talking to me, and I'm on my phone. There's some disconnect there. And you realize that Sarah is not interested in me. So you, of course, somehow feel there's no connection. So when people are communicating, they need to relate well. I listen to you, you listen to me, and then from there, even the body language, the handshake, the eyes, and how about even like when the face itself? There are people who fold their face, like when you are talking, you fold your face and you're like, why is he folding my face? What have I said? And somehow, someone also will lose focus on what we are communicating or talking about. So we have to be really relaxed even as we are communicating. We have to show people that, of course, we are there for them. Yes, so even if there's something that is interrupting, I should not, even if someone else comes, it's like, excuse me, I'm talking to Moses, give me a few minutes. Once I finish with him, I'll come back to you. So how will you feel? You feel that you are important. And the moment you show people that they are important, you get almost everything from them.
Make somebody feel important.
Yeah.
Very important. It's very important to make somebody feel important.
Yes.
Wise words from Sarah. She has a book out. It's called Overcoming the Impossible. It dropped last week. With so much information in it. I'm going to be reading it as well. How can they get a hold of this book, Sarah?
Yeah, the way to get my book, Overcoming the Impossible, because in the book I've shared how my journey from when I was a small girl, I briefly talked about it, and all through the challenges that I have faced, the discouragements, and the way I've believed in myself from the words of my cousin who told me, you can make it. If someone tells you you are negative, refuse, and inside your heart say that I can make it. So anything that I do today, I remember the words of my cousin. I also remember, fortunately, I have had men in my life who have really encouraged me. Even my late dad used to tell me, don't worry, my daughter, you'll make it. And so you can imagine a girl who was numberless to now being a leader in business, a leader in every aspect of life, and a leader in business networking, now to who I am today. So you realize that in my book, I have shared so much about my success as I have walked my journey. So it has your personal story, and it has some tips we can also get. Yes.
All right.
Very related to the lessons that you learn from the challenges. That, of course, challenges are not even that bad at all, because they help you to become very strong, they build you, and they make you. So for one to get that copy of my book, they can call me on 0714 880 173.
You can repeat that number facing that camera. Talk to them directly.
Okay. 0714 880 173.
All right, thank you very much, Sarah.
Yes.
Your social media handles, I see you have a website as well.
Yes.
So just give them your social media handles and your website, how they can get to interact with you online, just in case they are far away.
Okay. My Twitter handle is at Sarah, hashtag, Sarah, at Sarah _ Karingi. And then I have a website that is www.sarahkaringi.com. And I have another one where people can learn about business networking. I share a lot about networking, www.globalnetworks.co.ke.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Sarah. We appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. We can go on and on. I think I'll have to get you back on set so we can talk more about networking, because it's a bone of contention, or it's a topic to be covered.
Yeah,
and not so many people are well versed with it. And it's very important.
It's
I'm
not
also
even
learning.
taught in the universities.
All right.
Yes, I think I'll be the first person to train people on networking in the universities.
I think we should do something about
subject.
this. All right. Yeah. Sarah's book is out, Overcoming the Impossible. Head straight to Sarah Karingi, www.sarahkaringi.co.ke.
Yes.
All right. And grab a copy for yourself and get to learn more about her story and networking. This has been another segment of Strength of a Woman. Hilda is coming up next with a brand new segment of life, music, and style. That's what I was told. I go by the name of Barry Moses, or it's Barry Mo on every social media platform. Don't touch that dial.